Good day, grade 8 students. Welcome back to English class. Today, we are back for another grammar lesson. But before we start, let us first recall our lesson last meeting. So you learned that reading is like doing an investigative job. You follow clues now and then. If you are able to plot the events of the story, you can draw conclusions. Effective conclusions are those that proceed from story clues logically. So now, I have here a paragraph with underlined words. So let us read all together. WHO, or the World Health Organization, is gathering the latest international scientific findings and knowledge on COVID-19. The global literature cited the addition of other expert-referred scientific articles. The database represents a comprehensive source on the topic. The WHO has begun collaboration with key partners to enrich the citations. So the underlined words are is gathering, cited, represents, and has begun. So based on those words, what do you think is our lesson for today? That's right! Our lesson for today is all about recognizing forms and principal parts of verbs. So this lesson is a recall of the grammar lessons you had. We are going to discuss this before we proceed to the lessons on verb tenses. So are you ready? So here are the objectives that you should attain after our discussion. Identify the forms of principal parts of a verb. Construct sentences with the use of the principal parts of a verb. Complete sentences by writing the correct form of the verb. And lastly, cite the importance of verb forms in daily communication. So let's get started. So what are the tenses of a verb? Verb tense tells you when the action happens. So there are three main verb tenses: the present, past, and the future. Each main tense is divided into simple, progressive, perfect, and perfect progressive tenses. So later on, we will be going to discuss this thoroughly. The focus of our lesson for today is all about the principal parts of verbs. A verb tense shows the time of the action or state of being that is being described. To use the tenses of a verb correctly, you must know the principal parts of the verb. So there are four principal parts of verbs: the present, past, present participle, and past participle. So remember also that we have regular verbs, so those that can be added with ing or ed, while irregular verbs are those that has changes in spelling. So let us start with the present form. The base word alone is used for most forms of the present tense, including the first person, I and we, second person, you, and third person plural, they. The only time the base changes is in the third person singular. Here you use he, she, or it. To form the third person singular, just add the letter S to the end of the base word. For example, he puts a lot of milk in it. You'd think he owns a cow for that purpose. Other examples are, my mom loves pinakbet. She encourages us to eat vegetables. People want a loyal and unselfish leader. So here, the word people is a plural noun. Therefore, it needs the third person plural form of the verb want. The next one is the past form. To form the past tense, take the base form and add ed. If the base ends in silent e, just add d, not ed. So unlike the present tense, past tense always uses the same form regardless of person or number. For example, John went to America before the lockdown. So went is the past form of the base form go, and it is an irregular verb. Ivan did not tremble. He stood calmly and began in a conversational manner. So the underlined verbs are past forms of the base forms do, stand, and begin. Also, these are irregular verbs. Jim motivated her brother to study well despite the situation. So motivated is the past form of the word motivate. Next, the present participle. It is formed by adding the suffix ing to the verb. When used with an auxiliary verb like is, are, was, or were, the present participle forms a compound verb that describes an action that is in progress. For example, experts are researching for an effective solution to stop the virus from spreading. She is working hard to help her family. It was raining yesterday when my friend invited me to attend her birthday. Remember, participles function as part of a verb phrase and must be accompanied by a helping verb. Lastly, we have the past participle form. It is often, but not always, formed by adding the suffix ed to a verb. It can also be paired with auxiliary verbs like has, have, had, was, and were, to show that an action has been completed. By the way, if the noun is plural, we use have, and if it is singular, we use has. For example, I have never seen you before, and never have I seen someone who speaks like you. Here, seen is the past participle of the word see, and it is an irregular verb. Other examples are, the banana muffins were baked fresh this morning. So this sentence is a past progressive tense. It conveys that an ongoing action in the past has been completed. My sister has taken martial arts lessons for 6 years. So this sentence is a present perfect tense. The action has taken occurred in the past. So we are going to discuss the tenses of verbs in our next meeting. So let us sum up our lesson for today. The base is the most basic form of a verb, and it plays a very important role in forming the present and past tense. To form a present participle, take the base form of the verb and add ing. Present participles are used in the progressive tenses, which combine a form of to be, such as am, is, was, and were. Past participles are formed the same way as the past tense, by adding ed to the base word. Past participles are used in the perfect tense, which combine a form of to have, or have, has, and had. So that ends our lesson for today. For your activity, refer to our learning guide. Have a great learning day!